As we walk through the corridors of life, our steps toward the inevitable end are slow but certain. The very question that emerges is, what happens when we die? This question has haunted humanity throughout the ages, shaping cultures, philosophies, and religions. To ask this question in the land of the Aztecs, where the mountains meet the sky and the sun rises over ancient pyramids, we must first step into the world of their beliefs, a world where death was not an end, but a journey into something beyond our understanding. In the Aztec worldview, death was seen not as a singular, mournful event, but as a continuation of the cosmic cycle, one that tied the living to the realm of the gods, the spirits, and the forces of nature. How then did the Aztecs perceive the transition from life to death? Was it merely the end of a heartbeat? Or was it an entrance into a different form of existence? Allow me to guide you through this ancient belief, as though I were a wise philosopher, sharing what the Aztecs believed and the profound wisdom embedded within their world. At the heart of the Aztec understanding of death was the idea of balance, an intricate, ever-changing dance between life and death, creation and destruction. Life itself was a gift from the gods, but it was also fragile. Each heartbeat was a debt to the divine forces, and each breath carried a duty to the gods who had created the world. The gods, particularly the mighty Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, and Huitzilopochtli, the god of the sun and war, were both protectors and takers of life. Through their powers, both the sun's daily journey across the sky and the seasonal rhythms of growth and decay were maintained. Consider this: is death simply a thief of life, or a necessary force that allows for rebirth? The Aztecs did not view death as a curse, but as part of the divine order. Their belief in the afterlife was not a singular, linear journey, but one rich in variation, where the outcome depended on how one had lived, on the choices made and the sacrifices offered. When an Aztec died, the journey to the afterlife was long and treacherous, a journey that demanded courage and endurance. The dead were not simply transported to an ethereal paradise or abandoned in the void. They embarked on a journey to Mictlan, the underworld, where the god Mictlan ruled with his wife, Mictlan. Mictlan was not a place of torment, as many would imagine. Rather, it was a place of transformation, where the soul was purified through trials. The soul had to pass through 9 levels of the underworld, each one requiring the deceased to overcome certain obstacles or trials. These levels were filled with dangers, rivers of blood, mountains of sharp knives, and winds that could tear one apart. The journey was grueling, and it was not guaranteed that all souls would succeed. Only those who were able to withstand the challenges and who were guided by the goddesses and gods of the underworld would reach their final resting place. One must ask, what does this journey tell us about the nature of death? It is not an easy transition, but one that requires strength and resilience. Even in death, one's character is tested. The Aztecs believed that the soul, like the physical body, needed to be refined and purified. The journey through Mictlan, arduous as it was, echoed the human experience itself, filled with struggles, suffering, and challenges, but with the promise of a peaceful existence at its end. Not all souls traveled the same path. For those who had died in battle, during childbirth, or in other honored ways, their destination was not Mictlan. These souls, instead, were believed to travel to the sun, where they would become one with the stars. The Aztecs revered warriors who died in battle, believing that they would join the sun god Huitzilopochtli in his celestial realm. Their spirits would be carried by hummingbirds and would journey to the realm of the stars, where they would join the eternal light of the sun. Consider the warriors, who, in their final moments, did not meet the trials of Mictlan, but instead ascended to a place of honor. Does this suggest that death, in the eyes of the Aztecs, was not the end, but an elevation to a higher state of being? Those who died as sacrifices to the gods, particularly in the sacred rituals of the temples, were thought to enter a revered state where they could interact with the divine. The offerings they made in life, including their blood, became a gift that allowed their spirits to transcend the mortal plane. The Aztec understanding of life, death, and the afterlife was also deeply intertwined with their practice of sacrifice. To the Aztecs, sacrifice was not simply an offering, it was a necessary act to ensure the survival of the world. The gods themselves, they believed, had sacrificed their own blood to create life. Thus, human sacrifice was seen as a way to maintain the balance of the universe and to repay the gods for their benevolent gifts. The act of sacrificing a life, whether it be in battle, through ritual, or by the gods themselves, was seen as a form of exchange. The life given to the gods was returned in the form of prosperity, health, and peace for the people. Death, in this sense, was a communal act. It was not only an individual journey, but one that affected the entire world. Can we then say that death is merely an exchange between the divine and the mortal, between the living and the dead? The Aztecs' complex view of death and the afterlife reflects a profound understanding of the cyclical nature of existence. Death was not an end, but a transition into another phase of being. Whether one entered Mictlan, the realm of the stars, or was elevated to the sun, the Aztecs believed that death led to a transformation, one that maintained the cosmic order and ensured the continuation of life. And so, we are left to ponder the nature of our own lives and deaths. Do we live in such a way that we honor the gods and ensure our place in the afterlife? In what ways do we face our own trials, knowing that death is not an end, but a beginning? The Aztecs, in their wisdom, remind us that death is but a part of a grand cycle, a cycle of life, death, and rebirth, where each soul plays a vital role in the unfolding of the cosmos. Thus, we must ask ourselves, what is the true meaning of life and death? The Aztecs believed that the journey after death was filled with trials and transformations. It is not the end, but rather the beginning of another phase of existence, where we are tested, purified, and ultimately reborn in some form. How then shall we live our lives to honor this truth?